Hey everyone, how's it going? Another tech tip here for you guys. Now I know this must look a lot different, but I've been getting into cycling a lot more lately, and especially getting a lot of enthusiasm from watching the Tour de France going on, and really noticing how those guys are riding their bicycles in relation to how they're pedaling, their cadence, but also what they're doing with their legs, how high they have their seats, and what they're doing with their ankles. And when I noticed that on my ride yesterday, I really paid attention to that and tried to use my ankles a lot while I was riding. And while I was doing that, I was thinking about how much that relates to motocross on what you do with your feet and how you put your feet on the foot pegs. So basically what they're doing is starting real high on the pedal with their foot up, and then as they stroke through, they're using their ankle to push the pedal through as well, and then a little pull up at the bottom. Let me zoom in and show you a little closer view of that. Okay, so what that looks like up close is when they're at the top of the pedal, they're going to have their ankle like this instead of like this. It's going to be as much as they can get like this, and then as they go down through the stroke, they're using their ankle to push also. Then at the bottom, right here, it's kind of like wiping your feet on the carpet. They're pulling up right there a little bit. And when they're in their cadence and they're going so fast, you don't really notice that unless you're really, really looking for it. You can see it. And I thought how that related to motocross. There's so many body positions and movements for cycling, but I think there's even way more for motocross. So let's look at it on the motorcycle and what you're doing with your feet and how the benefits would be to save energy. Because of course in cycling, man, you've got to be so efficient with your technique, you have to save a lot of energy and use all the forces that you have for leverage and stuff like that to get more effectiveness out of your power. Same way with motocross, body positions and movements. Let's look at it on the bike. Okay, let's see how this foot position thing works with a motorcycle. And basically with the motorcycle, there's two different foot positions that you want to be in. Either the balls of your feet or the arches of your feet. Let's do a little close-up so you can get a better view. The ball of your foot is right between the toe and the arch. Right there on the ball of your foot. Now look how much movement you have when you're on the balls of your feet. That's a lot of ankle movement. If you're on the arches of your feet, you don't have any of that ankle movement to help absorb some of that shock that you're hitting. And here you have a lot of absorption that takes the stress out of your knees, hips, and back, you know, all the way up to your hands on the handlebars, really. So how do you learn to ride on the balls of your feet versus the arches? That's something that I've been teaching for, I don't know, over 25 years. And that is to understand the technique, be able to do the technique correctly, and then do it correctly through repetition. And then you have to stay mindful of it and until you've done it enough times that it becomes an automatic habit that you're doing it. With something like that, you know, you could even get on your bike in the garage every day and practice it for 10 minutes or so. Get that feeling of being on the balls of your feet, the arches of your feet. Balls of your feet, arches of your feet. And while you're riding on the track, it's not that you're putting all your weight on one side and lifting your foot to get in position. It's just when you're bouncing over the terrain, you're moving your feet. You know, whether it be one foot or the other, sitting or standing, you develop a feeling to where you are on the foot peg. I mean, you know all the time that feeling of exactly where you're at on the peg, and then you can easily adjust to be there. So that's a tech tip about how important it is for foot placement on the foot pegs. The benefits are more than just more suspension in your body, but you're not going to hit the shifter or brake by accident. In deep ruts, you're not going to get ripped off the foot peg. There's a lot of benefits to that. Body positions and movements, that's just one of them. There's a lot of things that go into body position and movements. And if you're serious about learning to ride better, get the Volume 3 DVD number 1, which is Body Positions and Movements. Learn all about it and learn how to practice it. If you like the blog, sign up and get notifications of whenever I'm blogging. Upper right hand corner of your screen. I hope this information has been useful to you. As always, ride hard, ride smart.